I need both of you to give me what is the greatest existential threat to humanity.
Imagine if I got this question.
I know the answer.
That's good. So you're gonna call a coin flip.
Heads.
Bug snacks.
Bug snacks. It is heads, Bomb. First or second?
True.
First.
True. Very true.
First? All right. Sounds good.
Greatest
Both of you are pinned.
existential threat to humanity is...
Yes, and
Can you
1
start my
minute 30
timer,
on the
please?
clock. Bomb,
Can you
you are
start me?
going first. Your time begins now.
The greatest threat is one that's unsuspecting, one that we're going to consume daily on a regular basis, thinking that it's okay, it's only this much, or it's okay, I'm dieting and I'm allowed a cheat day. Sugar, by far, is one of the worst drugs, and I say drug with great emphasis on this planet. I have experimented recreationally, and it has hurt my own health, self-inflicted pain on my own health, but sugar is one of the worst causes of diabetes and all the other bad shit that can come from it. Sugar will literally lower the length of your telomeres inside your body. Telomeres are what can dictate how long you live. Sugar consumed on a regular basis, and I want to say caffeine too, but because you consume caffeine with sugar most of the time, I don't know how many of you drink your coffee black, but sugar is just one of the leading causes, unsuspected causes of major downfall to this fucking world. Yes, it's worse than heroin. I think all major drugs should be legalized because the harm that can come to a person using these drugs outside of a medical, like, clean utensils and things. My sister's a nurse. She's one of the people that's led me to believe this, that these drugs, it's sugar. Yeah, and I know Micah reviews sugar. Yes, Aisa. But listen, she should cut back a little bit. Sugar is very, very bad. Fuck sugar. Stop consuming it.
And Micah is actually crying right now. You have broken Micah's heart. Pick start. 1 minute 30 on the clock. Your response. Your time begins now.
I honestly think that our greatest existential threat to humanity is the exact same thing that it's been for our entire existence ever, and that's greed. We as humans cannot work individually. We cannot prosper as solo individuals. We have to work together as a team. And I think that now more than ever, we as a planet are greatly divided. I think that most nations are now at war. Most people have problems with their governments. And I think that we as a whole are just having problems due to the greed of the rich and of the wealthy and of the 0.001% that are out there. I think that this has been the case for as long as humans have existed. And I think this is going to be the case for as long as humans exist.
Okay, with plenty of time remaining. Bomb, 1 minute 30, back over to you. Your time begins now.
Wait, Meta, what is existential?
Stop. Don't start my time with Ziggy fucking talking over here.
I mean, this question can be answered in however you feel fit to answer the question.
Can my time start fresh, please?
Yes. 1 minute 30, back over to you, Bomb. Your time begins now.
I think greed being one of the 7 deadly sins is exactly reinforcing my point, and that the unsuspecting villain here is going to be the greatest cause of discomfort and ailment to our society. And I think that greed being so popularized, honestly, I don't even think it's that much of a downfall. It can become a hindrance, but at the same time, it increases barter and trade. And that there is just going to boost any economic, social structured community. It doesn't need to be a monetary value like money, or it can be Bitcoin, something. I mean, I prefer trades way back in the day when it's actually trading item for item. But I think greed is very bad as a pick here because it's so prominent. People are already trying to become a utopia. Where they can disperse the money, regularly through taxing. If you make a certain amount, you didn't get the stimulus check. I think we already have the checks and balances for that, and that the underlying villain here is going to be things that we consume on a regular basis. Our bodies are a temple, and consuming sugar and caffeine and other things is very detrimental when you give it to kids at an early age. I mean, I had Adderall at an early age, and I think sugar was worse. I wasn't trying to take the Adderall at a young age. I was sneaking up at 2 a.m. to get a fucking cupcake with some sprinkles.
Time. Pick start. 1 minute 30 over to you. Your time begins now.
Okay, so you talked about proper taxing. I don't think the proper taxing exists in our society and hasn't existed in a long time. I think that you can look back to the early 70s or 70s and early 80s when Reagan took over and turned into Reagan economics, where it became a trickle-down system, and you can see how much that has destroyed not only our country, but westernized society has moved so far east and become so global now that it's destroyed so many societies. I understand that sugar could be damaging to a child, and I do agree with you there, but wouldn't you argue that it's the greed of these corporations that create these sugary drinks and create these labels that are addicted to children, and like the Sour Patch Kids that look fun and inviting and want people to actually go in and eat them, that is the greed of the corporations trying to make more money that just causes these problems to begin with? Like, yes, I agree with you that sugar can be a problem, but let's look at the core issue, and that's not the sugar, that's the greed from the people that push out that sugar.
All right, plenty of time left again. 1 minute back and forth between you two. Your time begins now.
If you want to undermine the top 1% that does tons of charities and donations to extra causes, that's fine. But when you start coming at the companies, that's such a generalization, because everyone's out for money. And I think because of that awareness there, we can depict what a good company is from a bad company. If they're advertising to kids, it's pretty obvious when that's happening. But the fact that there isn't any counter advertisement for how harmful sugar is, and instead it's the companies are talking about throwing money at things for big farm trying to counteract certain things and just get people to take a pill every day. That's the real greed that's causing when
I say corporation, yes, there may be rich people that donate things, but the amount of wealth that they donate compared to the amount of wealth that they make is substantially different. And you can agree with me there, Bomb. I think that the actual tax rate difference of how it works.
And that is time. We move on to questions from our judges. Michael looks so sad right now. 3 minutes on the clock. Judges, the floor is yours. Your time begins now.
I have a question. Does sugar negatively impact the world in a way other than just personal health?
Yes, because of millennials in today's age of owning your own home and family being old-fashioned, not supporting you in an adult life, consuming this sugar throughout your early ages is a hindrance through having to pay through dentists and other things to upkeep, even more through dentistry. I think sugar affects your health on a much larger scale, and the money that you have to devote to Medicare and the medicine field, if you're in US or places that doesn't provide for free,
because the rich don't actually pay their taxes properly, so these things can't be paid for properly and actually provided.
So are you saying sugar negatively only impacts the person who's consuming it? And then Pickstart, would you say that being greedy only negatively impacts the person who's being greedy?
No, the greed actually impacts everyone. I think that especially when it comes to society and like the corporations up the top and the amount of taxes that are not being paid due to people being greedy with their money, it impacts everyone below them.
And I think if you think consuming sugar isn't a problem for you in your life, you are surely mistaken, and you are part of the problem that's causing we're in a pandemic for COVID right now. I think sugar is causing IBD and IBS and a longevity through our genetics and consumerism through an entire lifetime. When you have offspring, a lot of people are coming out with more stomach and gut issues, and a lot of that is drawn to sugar and gluten in the West Coast.
Is there any ripple effect to that, to like others' health? So you said your kids. Oh wait, actually, Coriander, you asked your question.
Yeah. So if this is an issue, greed and sugar being the issue, what is the solution that you propose?
I think that we need to actually tax the rich properly. I think we need to go back to how and look at how it was done back in the 50s when the rich were actually taxed at a proper rate and weren't having offshore accounts that allowed their money to be diverted around. I think that when we can actually take a look at that and we can put in actual restrictions and blockings to stop that, I think that's when we can see much better benefits to not only just everyone below them, but the healthcare, which so that when people that are addicted to sugar and have these problems can get the help that they need without it draining them completely.
See, I think greed is the solution, and that bandwagoning and backing these good causes and promoting awareness for discontinuing things like sugar and consuming things that like it took a long time for people to become open about cigarettes becoming negative to your health. I know vaping isn't any better, but people are trying through awareness. And I think awareness is a very huge pusher and success on driving a movement.
And that is time. It is voting time now. Who won?
I love you.
Who debated better? Pickstart arguing for greed or Bomb Diggy arguing for sugar? So with that, let's go down to judging. And I want to hear who Micah wants to vote for.
Oh no. Mikey, you can do it. We believe in you.
I just want to say that sugar makes me happy, okay? And
I have so much sugar in it.
And it doesn't negatively impact anyone but myself, so I'm not hurting anyone by eating all this candy every day. But so it's hard because I think both the arguments were done well. I think that Pickstart did focus on aspects of like specific aspects of greed versus like all encompassing. So like I taxing the rich doesn't remove greed. Like that would still make it existent. So that was like the only thing that I disagree with. I understand like the ripple effect of sugar. I actually gave up sugar for 3 years. So like I understand like why it's bad for you, but I can't stop right now because I'm addicted. Okay. So I thought both arguments were done really well. Bomb Diggity's argument made me very sad. Pickstart's argument I thought was really good until Coriander's final question, and that kind of broke me on who to decide. So I'm voting for Bomb Diggity against my will.
Damn. A true test of bias there. Next up, Earthly, who did it better?
Just gonna have to go with Bomb on this one, you know. I think it was a little indecisive. It was kind of hard to choose. I think they had their ups and downs trying to win this debate, but I think Bomb ultimately has taken the cake on this one.
All right. Another one for Bomb. Ziggy Buckets, who did it better?
There's just a lot of words being thrown around that I didn't really understand.
Shit, he's actually frozen this time.
But just the premise of the argument, I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go with. Bomb.
All right. Next.
I also don't like Bomb, by the way. I hate Bomb. I really don't like.
I hate Bomb too right now.
All right. Hate aside, Coriander, who did it better?
I felt like they both had very good structured arguments, and we always should vote off of the structure of the argument, but when they're both good, what are you gonna do? I don't know. Guys, a little drunk right now. I think I'm gonna give my vote to Pickstart. I think that he had very good structure to his argument, and I felt like his argument was an existential crisis in itself. I thought Bomb's argument was also very good, but I found it a bit repetitive.
All right. Lusticar, who did it better?
I'm gonna have to go with Perry. I'm just kidding.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I told y'all bug snacks.
Exactly.
When there's two like really pretty streamers, you know, people who are arguing, it's kind of hard to tell who's who.
All right, Lusticar, who did it better?
This is hard. Because like Coriander said, they both had really fucking good arguments. And like this entire time I was trying to hear everybody else's side of the story on why they thought. And I'm just like, I don't know. It's fucking rough. Do I want to?
Do you need time?
Vote? I do. I really do.
All right, Perry then. Perry, the only other person who hasn't voted. Who did it better?
Yeah, this was a hard decision. Valid points made on both sides. Ultimately, you know, I'm keeping my completely keeping my personal opinions out of this and basing it on the arguments. I feel like, man, Pickstart on both of the minute 30 rounds had like 35 seconds left both times. Like that's over a minute of time that is not used, and I just feel like maybe he ran out of stuff to say and it was missing a lot of points I thought could have been made. So overall I think Bomb had the better argument and Bomb gets my vote.
All right, so Lusty, what do you got for us?
Damn, I guess we're voting against getting cut, you know, straight to the point and no filler information. I'm just kidding. Fuck me, man. Does it even matter who I vote for at this point?
No.
It always matters, chat.
It matters to you.
Your vote matters.
And to be fair, it didn't have to be filler. There's a lot of things that could have been brought up, is just my point.
I value your opinion, Mystikar.
Who do you like more?
Don't say that, Bomb. Come on.
Yeah,
Lusty, hey, let the men vote. Let the men vote.
Who do you like more, Lustikar?
You and your mean mugging ass frozen camera, dude.
His face looks so grumpy too. That's the best.
Ziggy, just fix it, Ziggy.
He's
I know.
so grumpy.
I don't want Meta to yell at me for not having a cam up.
Is your camera just broken? Is that a picture
No,
you're putting up?
No, I can explain it to you later.
Okay, all right. Lustikar.
After debate.
Okay. So I do. Okay. Recalling back to the original arguments, there was a lot of emotion involved with these arguments. You all already know how I feel about that. And there were some clear and concise arguments coming from Pickstart regarding the rich and the severe problems that the rich are causing. And he did note a lot of those things. You know, it's kind of hard to fill up, you know, never mind. Let me not mention that. I'm going to vote for Pickstart.
All right.
I just don't know what's wrong with being rich.
Okay.
There's
All right.
nothing wrong with being rich, but when you're exploiting other people for your benefit, then there's
If
something.
you're hoarding wealth,
I just want to say something really quick. So the U.S. minimum, just to give you a little clarification, the U.S. minimum wage in 2009 was $7.25. The U.S. minimum wage today is $7.25.
I know.
Between March 18th, 2020, and January 9th of 2021, Elon Musk gained over $180 billion.
All good points you could have brought up in your minute that you didn't use in your argument.
That is enough. The voting has...
Nova, I wasn't Googling
the
that stuff during my
1% is
argument.
donating so much for good causes. That's my issue with what you're saying.
That's wonderful, but we have already extended this round way longer than it
sending
had
me
to
to
go, and we are
Mars.
not having a 4-hour show. So, congratulations, Bomb. You have secured your spot. Pickstart has been unable to steal the round. This is your last chance
GG
to...
for sure.
Yeah, good rounds.